The LAPD officer accused of illegally recording fellow officers making racist, sexist, and homophobic remarks is sharing his story for the first time in a television exclusive. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
I'm Jonathan Gonzalez in for Michael. Only NBC4 Investigates sat down with Officer Daniel Flores, who says he believes he did the right thing, even though his actions originally led to felony criminal charges.
Our investigative reporter Eric Leonard talked with Flores this week. He joins us live in studio tonight as that officer faces an uncertain future. Eric.
Yeah, Colleen and Jonathan, Daniel Flores says this entire episode has probably ruined his hopes for a long and meaningful career in law enforcement. He tells me he truly believed he was doing the right thing here, that the department would address his complaints and that he could remain anonymous. Soon after reporting these other officers, he says he became the target of a criminal case, which has turned his life upside down.
I thought LAPD would have been proud of me, to be honest. I thought they would have looked at me as an individual who stood up and did the right thing.
LAPD officer Daniel Flores going on camera to share his side of what happened that led to him briefly facing criminal charges for making recordings of more than a dozen other officers that he complained in a lawsuit had regularly made racist, homophobic, and sexist comments while at work inside an office in this personnel building in downtown LA. His reasons?
There's no room in today's society for any type of bigotry or any type of misconduct that attacks a certain group. I think that people need to stand up against it because that's the only way that this will ever end.
He says he made the recordings in 2024 because he knew a written complaint alone wouldn't be enough to prove what the other officers were saying.
I did not take any of these recordings to the media. I kept it internal. I submitted it only to LAPD and the Inspector General, and I was hoping that they were going to do the right thing. I was hoping that they were going to do their own investigation.
Flores says in 2025, he learned he was the target of an internal investigation. A year later, in June 2026, he sued the city of LA in civil court, alleging his workplace was a hostile environment. The city has filed a response in court denying Flores' claims about working conditions. Then, in July 2026, the LA County District Attorney announced it filed felony eavesdropping charges against Flores.
The one thing he can't do, especially as a police officer, is violate the law to do this.
Flores faced 16 felony counts that could have led to a state prison sentence, and he entered not guilty pleas in criminal court.
I was hurt. I was scared, couldn't believe what was going on. I couldn't really fathom it. Like, is this really happening?
About a week later, another announcement from Hochman, this time to say, out of concern for scaring off any future whistleblowers, the felony charges would be reduced.
Which is a misdemeanor charge, and 16 of them we thought conveyed the appropriate balanced message that we are both going to hold people accountable, but doing it in a fair way.
The judge put the case on judicial diversion, meaning Flores would likely face no consequences in criminal court, instructed only to obey the law. Flores says some of the allegations made by the DA's office weren't true, like the charge that a windfall from a lawsuit was the real reason he made the recordings.
I did not do this for money. The original report was submitted anonymously. I didn't even want to be identified.
He says now that it's all out, he sees online comments from other officers referring to him as a snitch and fears his career at the LAPD has been ruined.
I would love for the LA citizens to know that there is good officers out there and that I did the right thing, that my oath is not to LAPD. My oath is to the citizens of Los Angeles, and I took that oath, and I take that oath very seriously. And even through all this, I would do it again, because it was the right thing to do.
Flores says he's not sure what's going to happen to him next. He's still employed by the police department, but he's been away from work on leave. A hearing has been set for October for his lawsuit against the city. And as we reported earlier this month, the LAPD says disciplinary action has been taken against 17 officers who were captured on his recordings. The specifics of what punishment they faced remains confidential, and that's because of the LAPD's confidentiality policies for discipline against officers.
Very, very interesting, Eric.
You got it.
Thank you.